Hey, all right, welcome guys to our podcast. We unfortunately do not have a name for our podcast right now. We're trying to think of something unique, so we're still in the works of trying to get our podcast name. But other than that, my name is Isaac, and want you guys introduce yourselves real quick?
Um, I guess I'll go. I guess I'll go. My name's Ricky.
My name is Manny.
Okay. We are all good friends. We all are in the circles of life together, and we actually came together through this pandemic, of course, that's happening in the world today. Unfortunately, the virus continues to spread, and I randomly just had this thought of, hey, let's just do a podcast. And so they were on board, and here we are now. Uh, Go ahead, Ricky. You
I
want to say
was,
something?
I was gonna say like you would say like this. The pandemic brought us this, but literally has been something we've been planning to do for a very long time.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. My mistake. It has been in the works for a long time. It actually started with Manny. Manny had pretty good ideas of a podcast that I actually thought were pretty good, and we just never could get around to it because Manny couldn't get it together. But it's okay, Manny.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much. It happened like 2 weeks after, and I was like, I forgot about
it's okay.
it.
But hey, we're all here together, and like Ricky said, this was in the works for a long time. I just finally decided, like, hey, let's do it, and we're here now. But one of the topics we wanted to hit upon today is how tech became such a huge pioneer in this global pandemic that we're facing now. At first, I can be honest, I wasn't a person that was very cautious about the virus. I just kind of thought of it as like, oh, it's just another sickness. It's not really gonna affect life. People are over exaggerating. People are overreacting. How do you guys feel about that, Ricky? How do you feel when the virus started to come about? How did you feel when it first came out?
Let's see here. January was when it. Well, January is when I first hearing about it. It's been happening since actually December from everything. I was cautious because as of at that time it hasn't like it hasn't hit our states yet and at the time because at the time it was mostly China and Korea, but I was paying attention to it as much as possible to be ready for what could happen. Um, but I didn't. But I kept the day as regular and all that stuff. But I always try to keep paying attention to it until the end of till everything came to where we are now.
How about you, Manny? How did you feel when everybody
uh,
started? When
Honestly, until the lockdown, I didn't really care.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
it was basically just I'd do my stuff that I had to do throughout the day, and
Mm.
then I would come back home, and that's about it. So it wasn't really affecting me um, until schools and work started shutting down and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
uh and then we continued to go to school throughout the pandemic during the shutdown up until about I'd say about 6 weeks ago. The school finally came and shut us down
Yeah.
around 6 weeks ago, and then I
And-
was like, it's probably getting worse, but still not really majorly worried.
okay. And did you guys feel any worry in any kind of your day-to-day life or around you where you felt maybe the people around you were getting affected and kind of made you worry a little bit?
Oh,
Uh,
go Manny, go
go.
ahead.
No, you can go. I still have to think about my sentence. I have to form it, word it properly. I don't want to say anything instance is sensitive.
Here we go. Um, for me, yeah, honestly, because like I said, I out of all three of us, I think I was the only one that was probably more paying attention, was paying attention to it as much just to make sure it doesn't hit us. Excuse me. Um,
You're coughing now?
I have a cough. I've been having a cough, so it's not that it doesn't affect me or anything. I mean, it could honestly, but
Go ahead.
for me it was more like I think. But the thing is, for me, for my day to day life, I actually work from home, so I think for me, I think it what you can say it probably didn't change as much for me as it did, but it actually does for the fact of outside of work and all that stuff. Because like I go from my 9 to 5 being home to once it hits 5, I'm out doing something, and all that stuff. Because whether it's like any family stuff to help out with, church for you two guys who know much about me and everything, and all that stuff. And so that was where it's like once it hits 5. So now it's like once it hits 5 o'clock, it's like, what do I do now, and all that stuff. And then family wise, oh yeah, of course. Like my mom, it's like my mom, my sister, and my niece, they all live together and all that stuff. And then it's like it's hard to go over there now without like trying to making sure of like I can't do anything and all that stuff. Like literally, like when I go inside the house, my mom stops me and like makes sure it's like I wash my hands and everything like that. And I'm like, this is too difficult. Like, and just last week, I finally got a mask and all that stuff now and I actually wear it because it's like it may not affect it because like people don't realize. I think it's like people till this day. Honestly, it's like they don't realize of like, hey, this is running faster in the area we live. We are our city has the most cases and deaths and all that stuff. Not many people know that and all that stuff, especially within our area and all that stuff. People still think it's like, oh, it's not gonna. It's like you do realize New York's in a big quarantine state where it's risk. California is like that also, and it's now hitting like the middle of the country too now. So it's like
starting to spread quickly.
Yeah, it's like hello.
And what about you, Manny? Or is there any worries on your thought process, or
I was worried about a lot of family members because a lot of my family members not work out like as in
they work outside.
Like, yeah, they work outside. Like a lot of them are field workers. A lot of them are like not really delivery, but kind of delivery. Like they're interacting with a lot of different people at different times. Would you say essential? They're constantly with people. No, not essential because they don't work in like a supermarket and stuff like that. But like they work for companies, like going places, like stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think for me, I think the worriness about it was that my mom is diabetic and my dad is pre-diabetic. Well, both diabetic. And when you hear about the virus can really affect those that have an underlying disease or anything like that, that makes me worry a lot because I work at a school, and right now, I'm facilities / maintenance, and there's no kids there at all, of course, but just that worriness of like, what if I don't wash my hands, and what if I touch something without washing my hands, and what if they get it? And I'm not really worried too much about myself getting sick because I feel like I'm gonna be okay because I don't have any underlying disease. But again, I experienced what you experienced, Ricky, where your mom was like, "Stop! Did you wash your hands, dude?" Every time I come in my house, it's like, "Did you wash your hands? And did you wear your mask all day?" And so the virus really has changed the way of life today, and one of the biggest things that has changed is our way of interaction. Well, the way we interact now is how we're interacting in this moment is through a Zoom call, or as we always done it, through phone calls, or through technology in itself is where technology has just skyrocketed because of this pandemic. We're all forced to stay home, which meaning is that we're all going to start watching Netflix, we're all watching Amazon, we're all watching Hulu, we're all, of course we get together and play Fortnite. And so one of the things is that I've dramatically changed is that, technology is actually been sort of a blessing. I don't know if you guys agree or not. For me, I feel like, the fact that I can still call you guys, or the fact that I can still text, or even, streaming has become a huge giant in itself. Amazon is just, dude, the last time I seen Jeff Bezos' net worth, it wasn't what it was now. the last time I checked it on Google was his net worth now is $124 billion. That's insane amount of money, and that's just from his company because everybody's buying everything online. So, Ricky, maybe and you, Manny, give your thoughts on and Ricky can go first. Ricky, give your thoughts on how you see technology starting to take effect in this pandemic.
So I think probably like I don't want to say like out of the three of us, like I have the background of where it's like I pay attention to this stuff and tech and all that stuff and all that stuff, and it seeing the fact that it's like most of like how everyone's now reverting to all these things now. It's like it's a blessing and a not a curse, but it's more like, oh my gosh, because not everybody knows about this stuff, and they're just now learning about it, and it's like a step. It's like a having to teach everybody a brand new stuff.
Exactly.
I think it's thankfully like in my personal experience, like I've already taught my family about this stuff, of how to use it, so they haven't it hasn't been like that bad. So like for them to be like, how do I use this app on the to install on the TV or something like that, or set this up and everything like that, set up a Chromecast or something like that. And for me I think for my personal experience, it's like it feels like the same. Just now, I can actually watch Netflix now more often and Hulu and all that stuff, because like I'm always like on the go and all that stuff. I don't watch a lot of stuff, and everything. So now it's like actually being home, doing something besides everything else that I have to do now currently, but. I think for Amazon's thing in particularly is a tricky one, but a scary one at the same time. Yeah, you can see like the good side is that like Amazon as a business is still flourishing, but on the other end of that, it's like just not that long ago, of like last week or 2 weeks ago, a couple employees tested positive for the virus in a New York warehouse and everything, and that warehouse is still going, from what I've heard. And all that stuff. So it's like, sure, we can thank Amazon for this and everything like that, for being there for us and giving us this stuff and everything. And yeah, Bezos is most likely, his net worth is just going through the roof and all that stuff. But it's also at the same time, you want to make sure that these people are also being taken care of that are working in these warehouses. And I have very much hope so. Especially I used to work in an Amazon warehouse like not a long time ago and all that stuff. And then those working those hours and working those shifts are, oh my gosh, those can drain you. And all
what were your working hours, if you don't mind me asking?
I worked, what was it, like a six, or 7 to 5 or something like that. I don't remember correctly. So it was 10-hour shifts, for 4 days. But when overtime kicks in, it's pretty much a half day.
Okay.
When we're working holiday, so it's like you're working 12 hours, 6 to 6, on holiday, when holiday kicked in and all stuff. Because that's the only time I worked was during the holiday season, and that's draining, especially if you're working like a freak. I was working Monday through I was working Monday through Saturday a couple weeks during holiday, working for 12 hours. And it gets to you and all that stuff. Like if you had saw me, you were like, how is he moving and all that stuff and everything like that and stuff. But like I said, that's that, because like I said, we still have also not just Amazon workers, we still have people that work in supermarkets and all that stuff. All these essential workers that are still working, and including myself somehow. And it's just crazy to see all this stuff happening and all that stuff about how people are getting paid. We got these whole stimulus package checks that are payments that are supposed to be coming in for people and everything like that, so that way they can pay their rent, pay bills. That's another thing too. People that are paying rent. I live on my own. I pay rent, and all that stuff. I just recently paid my rent for this month. I'm guaranteed to pay rent for next month in June, but I don't know after that and everything like that. and all that stuff. So it's like, because I still have my job and all that stuff as of right now. For what I don't know for sure, because I don't know how my future is. I know I have a job. I know I'm working and all that stuff, but I don't know how long, depending on how long this virus goes, what happens to me and all that stuff. Because like I said, it's on top. It's top. Like I said, I pay rent. I'm on a lease. If I'm to emit and all that stuff and everything like that. I have a good I like my landlord a lot. He's a nice guy and everything. That was on my end. And it's just hopefully whatever happens and we can hopefully everything succeeds for me at least. And on a technology standpoint, which is coming back to that other question that I forgot to bring in. I think of it as a blessing for me because, like I said, I do work from home. That is my job. I work from home. But the thing is about working from home is you don't get to talk to your friends and all that stuff as much because they work or at school, like you two, in particularly, and all that stuff. And Isaac, you still work, huh?
Thankfully, we work with masks
and all that stuff. And Isaac, you still go to school. Manny, he's doesn't go to school right now currently. Kind of works on the side and all that stuff, but so I chat with him sometimes and all that stuff because work is slow for us also and all that stuff. And anyways, and also for the fact of like the one other thing that I'm happy for the fact because that's how we at least you started doing and then but me and Manny and another friend of ours that's doing is video games. All that stuff. And currently, right now, the only game we're currently playing together is Fortnite. That's the only particular one.
Sometimes COD.
Well, mainly, I said. Mainly the game is Fortnite and all that stuff because we can all play together. Because, like, I'm on an Xbox, Manny's on a PS4, our friend Arturo's on a Switch, and then you just recently joined playing on your phone. Yeah. And all that stuff. And we still do that. We still do that and all that stuff, and we still play that and all that stuff. Yes. There is the new COD game, Modern Warfare, which is now we can play with all our friends. How that's making me and Manny play and all that stuff. But I can get on that. I can get it further into that later. On how I feel about that stuff. But other than that, it's like I think for everything is in general, it's pretty much it. Everything is rised. Everything's like you can see a lot of things happening, such as coming to video streamings, video calls, gaming in particularly and all that stuff. Like, soon as our shelter in place kicked in, my internet already had like outages with the first couple days and all that stuff. And it was crazy to see that stuff. But yeah, that's my stuff.
Mine actually just started on the whole internet thing.
Oh, Manny, move your mic closer to your mouth.
My bad. My internet outages just actually started happening mainly because of the fact of most of the people on my block do not work in city. They travel like for the whole week and they come back. They're just here the weekend, and I don't know. I guess they just started recently staying home more. I guess I don't know.
I mean, we are in a shelter in place, and then
because the whole time this quarantine thing, shelter in place started, they were still leaving to work.
Well, maybe because their jobs were at the time still.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because it only started happening about
the end
of last week, beginning of this week.
Because you have to look at the fact once a shelter, it takes time, especially for specific jobs, to where it gets to a point where work is no longer needed. Yeah. And so most likely, especially because like we just went through our very first month of being shelter in place, so mostly people were still probably able to work. And by the time this month came in and all that stuff, because like people are still because throughout the whole month, cases were still rising and all that stuff, and places were slowly but more were beginning to like close down also at the same time. So it's like the reason why you're probably seeing it recently now is more so the fact that there was no reason for them to work, which is sad to say at the same time, and all that stuff. And that's why, that's why your internet's going to be more so like that now too, because it's like more people are around it, more people are in it, so it's going to affect, especially if everyone has the same cable provider too. internet provider and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
this almost as whole block does.
Yeah, so
Like 3 or 4 people that don't.
that's
So
how it's affected.
So we've seen technology starting to go through the rise. Of course, we've all mentioned now we're seeing Wi-Fi outages, and because everybody's home now, and the fact too is that everybody's probably doing the same thing we're doing, streaming. Jumping on Fortnite, jumping on any cross-platform video games. Um, but what is other than seeing the blessings and cursings of technology, which right now has been a blessing. But what do you think? And I think I want to go back to what Ricky was talking about. He kind of mentioned that he was having to teach his family how to use technology, and that's a true fact. A lot of people today, older people, they don't know how to use technology. I'm here in my house, with my parents, and so they have me, or to fix things or anything of that sort. But now, Ricky, I think you've seen another different side of technology of having to actually stream, church services. So how do you think that's how that worked for you? How do you feel about that? Like just working on a different spectrum of technology.
I was really hoping we weren't going to talk about this.
I want to bring it up.
Okay.
I kind of want to know too.
So a little backstory to this. So, and a little information about the three of us. We all go to the same church.
What? Dun, dun, dun.
And all that stuff. That's in case like whoever watches this that don't know who we actually are. And recently once shelter in place kicked in, we decided to do online services. Originally, I will say this much as possible because I don't want to like bag on our people, say something bad or anything if it comes out like that. Manny.
What to specify the question is what are the pros and cons you've seen streaming?
Okay, pros is for the fact that we are still giving, as we say, we're giving the word out to people.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, like bringing the word, the sermon, and all that stuff, worship, and everything like that. The downside of it really is getting people to actually on it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I will say for the fact our church is not a big church and all that stuff.
No. And all the church is technology savvy.
Where he says our church is not technology savvy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, what? I thought he said our church is tech savvy. I was like,
no.
I was about to say, I was like,
I said not all of it.
I think we're there. Our pastor, he's worked in a lot of technology. We have a lot of technological people. Yeah. But I don't think like tech savvy people.
It's more our audience than it is the people who and all that stuff. Like me, myself, our pastor, and another person of our within our team does know this stuff and everything like that. But it's more the fact of getting the people who go to our church, to the congregation itself, to watch. Because
so this is going to be a curse of technology.
That is the curse. Because like here's the thing, like we can promote. Because the thing is, we promote it, we put it on there, we let it know on Facebook and everything like that, and that's the other thing of like letting know that's if people are actually going to click on that link and go on it. Because one, we have it on like a watch party kind of thing, and it's also on YouTube. To name a few things, to name most things.
I don't know if you even watch the services, online or not.
I mean, of course I do. I wake up early. I get dressed.
Bro,
I iron my white shirt, my slacks, everything.
So you haven't watched the services?
I do, just not when they first drop. I'll watch them like.
Okay, how do you guys feel?
Probably even like the day after.
How do you guys feel like being home for that? Of course, technology is providing a way where we can still connect. But what are the cons of staying home and having church online? Because like I can say one for me, I think I miss interaction, the interacting of people. Because I think this by this time I was supposed to be playing drums again. So I kind of a little bummed because I'm like, man, I was supposed to be playing, and so we've seen how the virus has like interrupted, events, of course, it closed down, sports, it's closed down, music concerts, and so now we're forced to do interaction through a computer, and so I think one things that is one of the huge curses of technology is what Ricky already mentioned already is social interaction. So how do you guys feel about that? About social interaction. Do you guys feel a little bit of cabin fever? Do you guys feel on edge because you're not able to, meet with people as much anymore?
So pretty much
Well,
how
you guys know me. You two guys, by the way, not the people watching.
yes, we know.
I'm a social butterfly. I'm not actually. That was,
Continue.
anyways. Yeah, continuing on that. I don't really do social people like that. I don't really do social stuff like that unless I'm like with the like at work or like at school. Like if I'm with them constantly, then I'll start like forming a social connection. But like to go to like a party or to go to places that I don't know people, don't really do it. So it's not really affecting me that way.
Mm-hmm.
But schooling wise, kind of miss it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. And what about you, Ricky? Your
Okay.
job is antisocial already.
So here's like let's clear this out. So we can all admit all three of us here are introverts, pretty much.
Yes, this
What
is
does that mean?
true.
Say that again, Manny.
What does that mean? For people watching that don't know.
They already know, Manny. Anyways, if you don't,
people that don't like talking.
introvert meaning you're antisocial, and extrovert means you're very social.
You're outgoing.
Yeah.
You want it.
that's all.
Introverts, you stay home. You do all. You don't want to be around a lot of public places. Extroverts, you want to be out there. You want to be around the social life and all that stuff.
Just in case they didn't know.
I know. I don't know about you, Isaac, in particularly, but I know for me, as much as I'm an introvert, and I've learned more of that since social shelter in place. That how more of a social introvert I am. I do have extrovert tendencies, such as like I do want to go out. I do want to I do go out when I need to, when I want to, my own stuff. And I realized that stuff didn't hit me at first until like recently, and all that stuff.
So like now, once this whole thing is
So
over and they release the stay-at-home thing,
so
you're
if,
just gonna go party or like?
no, it's more of like I just want to get out of my house and go to somewhere else, like go to Frisco or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like it doesn't matter. Like you can go to the park, like for there's.
Well, I mean out of the city.
Oh, okay. So like.
I want to get out of the city.
Yeah, I think for me, since
Arizona.
I'm still an essential worker, I'm able to leave the house every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not feeling it, as much. But I do realize like having this 3-day weekend because I was off today. So since like Friday through Monday, like I do have like an on edge, like man, like I feel bored. Like I feel bored out of my mind. I feel like there's nothing to watch on Netflix no more. Like there's nothing to play anymore. I mean, I know there's like thousands of shows, but like I'm the kind of person like that's not easily stimulated. I need to have a good story. I need to have good characters. I need to have like it needs to be, if it's gonna be a funny, like a comedy TV show, I need to have it to be like hilarious. If it's not, then I'm not interested in a lot of things. But besides that,
So you're like not interested in like serious movies and stuff like that?
I am, but it's just like it needs to be good. Like if I can honestly tell the whole plot from beginning to end by watching like the trailer or something, I can't watch it.
Like the thing I think is sort of the fact is like you've watched mostly everything that's come out pretty much already before shelter in place, right?
Exactly. So that's why I say I feel for people that do have to stay home during the quarantine.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot of people like that.
There's not much content being pushed out because of everything that's been stopped.
That's where the difference is for like you and me. How's for me, like before we started recording this, I mentioned I finally watched The Boys and finished it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That came out last year, and all that stuff.
And how long did it for you to finish it? Like in a day?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
finished
exactly.
it. I finished it in a day because it was only 8 episodes. And there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen myself, and all that stuff till this day, because it's like I only get to watch if I'm not doing something that was like related to family and church outside of work, and I try not to watch a lot. I try not to watch stuff while working, because when I got to pay attention to it and all that stuff and everything like that and everything, and if I'm gonna like the show, I want to pay attention to it and all that stuff. Like as I was gonna say earlier this year, even though we didn't start Shelter in Place yet, and all at the time, I started watching My Hero Academia finally and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't watch that show.
And all that stuff. Like everyone, however, I like anime is like the one thing that I have not watched a lot of. Like I said, soon as My Hero Academia, I catched up to that. Shelter in Place kicked in. I finally finished Dragon Ball Super. That's how bad it is for me.
And you finished that in a day as well?
No, I try to watch that as much as possible. Like I was watching it because like I don't want to get into details. But anyways, I was at a certain point that I stopped watching, and then like I try to like watch like increments of like maybe 2 to 3 episodes. And all that stuff.
So besides us,
I watched the Rambo franchise.
Barely.
No, I've seen it before. Like,
okay.
I haven't seen it in the longest time, but I like the movie. So
I get it.
I have an excuse.
Yeah, I think for us, we kind of, shared our worries, our concerns about the virus, how it's affected us personally, and how it's affected, technology. But let's talk about the businesses aspect of the virus. Like I mentioned before, it's closed down a lot of events, a lot of things that we love. We are all sports guys here, so having the baseball season closed has been hurting. Even UFC is closed. I love UFC.
Yeah.
249. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest about something. I'm surprised it took them this long to cancel that event.
Which one? 249?
Yes. In all honesty, that should have been canceled a long time ago.
Well, I think that they were hoping that they would find something, a solution.
That's this whole country, which is dumb, in my opinion.
So, like I said, we've seen the business aspect of everything going downhill, but let's talk about some of the things that hit close to home. And you guys are Disney guy people. Like Ricky, you always been in Disneyland. Manny, you go to Disneyland.
Reverse that. Manny's been mostly to Disneyland. The last time I went to Disneyland for my birthday. The last time before that was when I was a kid, and I'm 30.
Once in my entire life. That's how it went.
Okay, so me and you are kind of more in the same boat, even though I've gone more recently.
Yeah.
House with Manny, he's probably gone almost every year.
Yeah,
true.
Definitely.
So we've seen the virus, of course, affects a lot of these businesses, but it's making them get very creative, and of course, it's making them having to think outside the box of how to push out content.
Disney just released, if you don't mind me interrupting, they released like a POV like from entrance to the park. Like they walk around the park, get on the rides, and it's like a POV. It's kind of cool, but kind of weird. So like it's like a camera like walking from the street view, walking in through the gate, and then like walking around.
It is Disney, so I think they'll think of something creative.
Okay, so since we're talking about,
I've never heard about that before. So what do you?
Okay.
So the next question is, what have you guys seen big businesses get creative about? Like one, I wanted to hit the topic of UFC's Fight Island that everybody's been creating so many memes around.
Okay, so how about we try to break this down into certain things? So one thing's first, let's talk about entertainment since we've already mostly been talking about Disney. Let's just not just Disney itself, but in general of the whole entertainment business in general. So you can know for the fact that this last month, as of early March, I want to say, most movie theaters were closing down to help.
They're all closed down already.
All of them has closed down. Let me say that. Let me say it like that. and all that stuff. Well, I mean, like at the start, I meant like most of them were, but now all of them are closed. AMC, one of the biggest movie theater chains, were not only like closed down their stuff, they've also like suspended accounts who are on the A-list Stubs account. I was one of them, so I thank them for that. They've also they've also furloughed their most of their employees, meaning they're still getting paid, but they cannot work and all that stuff.
That's good.
And all that stuff and everything like that.
So
But there's also there's from what I've been paying attention to as much as possible, there's a possible chance they won't, depending on whenever this thing ends, there's no chance of them recovering from this and all that stuff and everything.
Like you go out of business after this?
Like you could probably see like not a lot of theaters opening and all that stuff and everything like that on their side in particularly and all that stuff, and that sucks and all that stuff.
It really does.
That sucks because here, like, one of the things from
Stockton.
the only AMC we hear is like out of town, but still, the thing is like for me in particular, how that hits me is for the fact that last year was like I realized, especially towards the end of last year, I enjoy going to the movie theater and all that stuff, and whether with friends or just to watch a random movie, since I had the A-list subscription and all that stuff. Not being able to, the last movie I probably saw was in January, I want to say, and then the fact I missed out on maybe a couple February actually. It was the Birds of Prey movie, and
the last movie I watched was Crawl with you actually.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, but the thing is though, for me though, it's like I'm saying, that was my last movie. I didn't get to watch nothing in March.
Yeah. Because
I was actually going to plan on doing like a 3-movie binge at the movie theater, because that's how you can watch 3 movies with A-list, and then that's when everything started to happen, and I was like, I didn't want to leave, and then AMC started to close down their things, and I was like, great, and all that stuff, and I was just like, this sucks. But now you're seeing, but the thing is also, there's like, and here comes the blessing and the curse thing coming in right now. Most of the movies that are out in theaters or were supposed to come out in theaters these last couple months are coming out digitally on digital stores such as like the iTunes, Google Play, and everything like that, Vudu, and all that stuff. Huh?
Sorry, that came to my mind.
And
it was like,
they're you can rent them for $20. So recently, what came out was the sequel to Trolls World Tour.
Onward.
And Onward is the one that came out in March. But even though it came out in March, it did come out on to digital stores, and like a week, like towards the end, like beginning of this month, actually, it came on Disney Plus. But the thing is, like, you're for those big tentpole movies, as they call them, and all that stuff, that they're releasing on the stores is coming out, are that you're able to rent them for $20 and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous amount.
And most rental movies on a digital front are ranging from maybe $3 to $7, depending on that. Not depends on a lot of factors on that too, and all that stuff when they do come out on rent and all that stuff. So the fact that that's the one thing about that is the high price for it is, one, it was originally supposed to come out in theaters at that time, and then two, it's the best way for the movie companies to try to get some money back on all that stuff, and everything like that. So you're seeing a lot. They're literally trying to figure out what ways to make sure people can still watch these movies, but also still get something in return out of it.
And I agree. I think one of the things, the challenges I see is like how to make movies without having everybody come in at the same time, and I think that's the biggest challenge is, well, are they going to push out, if you're going to make a movie, are you going to do like segments with groups of people here and there each and every day, but then that process can take forever.
The other thing is, like, you have to look at also for the fact of movies that are coming out this year, that were supposed to come out this year, were probably already in post production, and they mostly probably finished their filming their scenes before Corona became a big deal and all that stuff and everything like that.
pushed back to March 2021. Jungle Cruise with The Rock.
Jungle. Okay, so the exception. So like I said, so then there comes the exception of some movies that were supposed to come out this year that are getting pushed back to certain dates. So like you see, such as like the next Fast and Furious movie, Mulan, and then Black Widow, which was supposed to come out in May. Mulan was supposed to come out last month. Fast was supposed to come out this month, if I'm correct. I could be wrong on that one, honestly though, but it was soon. Those got their dates got pushed back. You're not seeing a chance to see those. You're not going to see any chance of seeing those on like a digital platform or anything like that. For Mulan and Black Widow in particular, you're not going to see them on Disney Plus anytime soon, and all that stuff.
But if this virus starts going down past September, do you think they're going to start releasing them on the streaming giant? Because I think they will have to if this exceeds past summer. So
I can say this for Black Widow in particularly, because I don't know if they did a new date for Mulan. Well, particularly in the MCU in general, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for their movies in particular, they literally moved their whole slate down to the next potential dates they have. So Black Widow is in November of this year now. The following movie after that was called Eternals. That's now set for next year of what that original movie was supposed to come out. I'm just going to say those two right now because I don't remember the rest as of right now of how the order went. So they're hoping, they're like literally hoping that everything is like, at least like to go out at least and see stuff is done by that time. The fact of whatever happens, if we happen to be still in a state where we're still home, or if, God forbid, worse,
zombies.
Let's not go that far. I don't know what could happen, honestly. In all honesty, because like that's the thing what I was trying to get at too. Those movies that I mentioned earlier, such as like Jungle Cruise, the new Fast one, Mulan, Black Widow, to name those few, those are movies that will generate them the big bucks and all that stuff. Black Widow in particularly, because it is a Marvel movie. The next Fast one, it is, of course, this is the 9th one, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Well, if you include Hobbs and Shaw's in it, 10.
Like I said, in the collection, in the thing itself.
Oh, in the whole thing. Yeah.
In the main storyline itself and everything like that. And then for the fact of the trailer for that came out in January, and then the way that trailer ended with a big surprise. Of course, people are going to want to see that in theaters because it's the big spectacle. It's what it provides and all that stuff and everything like that. I would love for those three movies in particularly, Mulan, Fast, and Black Widow. I would love to see those in theaters because of what they bring and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and all that stuff, and the fact of putting those out and I don't. It's like I can understand people who would want to like for this opportunity for it to come on the Disney Plus now at this moment. I can understand that and all that stuff, but to put that on there now and all that stuff does like hurt its value in a way to them.
Yeah.
And what about you? What about you, Manny? What are some things that you wanted to look forward to this year now? You know, it's over, or that you've seen they probably got creative as well.
Entertainment wise.
Right? Entertainment wise, yeah, that's simple. Anyways, I'm a big fan of Formula D, which is Formula Drift, and they have a couple events here in California. They have two. They have the first event of the season, which I missed due to schooling, but then the second event, which is in Irwindale, I had really big plans of going because it was like in a window that I have of like a vacation. So I was gonna take that and go down there and go see it. And that's the finals. That was canceled, so I won't be able to see that obviously due to the thing. Also, as Ricky was saying, Fast 9 was a really big interest in mine due to Han returning.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but okay. I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Reason?
That is the reason, but I wasn't gonna bring it because it's like the fact that probably not everybody's probably not seen the trailer in a while and probably people don't remember. So I was trying to keep it that like a non-spoiler kind of thing.
I honestly forgot. I was like, oh yeah.
If it's in the trailer, I think you can say it.
But that's the thing. Like the trailer came out in freaking January. We're in April.
There's been enough time.
We're in April, and it's like the fact of where we're at right now. Not everybody still like either probably doesn't remember it or just doesn't have it and all that stuff. So I was like trying to keep it like hush hush.
So we've seen a lot of franchises and even small franchises being very very affected. I've seen a lot of the creativity that they are now producing. Manny mentioned the POV, experience you can gain from Disney. I didn't even know they were creating that, so that's kind of cool. I want to kind of see how they're gonna do that.
I can see some links.
It must really suck though.
What?
So like the fact is,
I really want to hit on the UFC Fight Island.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
I just want to bring this up real quick because the fact it's like in the state we're in right now, and all that stuff, and then especially for the fact of how people can get in this state right now, especially when you're hitting like if you're like depressed, have anxiety, and all this other stuff. Like, say if like this is just bear with me on this. Say if you recently just got off a long-term relationship after just a pitiful relationship and everything like that, and the one thing that can make you happy is closed down because of this dang virus and all that stuff.
Seeing people hit each other in the face repeatedly.
No. I wasn't trying to segue. I was just trying to make, because I'm bringing up Disneyland in particularly, and Walt Disney World too in Florida and all that stuff for the or even like just any amusement park in general and all that stuff. Whether it be Six Flags, Great America for here in California, like, particularly and all that stuff. But Disneyland at the most before the fact that was like because like I said, I went for my 30th birthday. Yes, I am old. I don't care. The fact, because I had originally had plans to go back this year, and all that
also
stuff.
trip.
And also, that's gonna be talked about in that later on. And the fact that I can't do that for the fact because it's closed down because of this darn virus. You if you're not, you should be literally. I mean, of course, yeah, you can be ticked off about it and all that stuff and everything. And it's just like it just sucks so much, honestly. But anyways,
honestly, I think the world needed it.
Wait.
Well, I mean, why?
I don't know. I feel like we're going too fast, and this is kind of like slowing us down. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's ponder a little bit. Do you feel like the virus kind of made us slow down in a way to interact more with our families?
Yeah, I feel like it's like.
Okay, I didn't understand you at first, but now I get what you're saying. Cause I was like, wait. What?
It's like all the people that got the virus deserve it. No, it's not like that.
No.
I was like,
it did. There is a con. I mean, there is kind of a pro to the virus, of course. With the social. Yeah,
this in particular, yeah, of course. But it's like, but you have to look at it though at the same way. It's like, at the same time, like, yeah, it's bringing people closer together. But is that bringing them together? Like actual physically or from in front of a computer screen like right now?
I think both. One in the virtually, I should say,
because like
the fact of like this, like Skype and Discord and Zoom, but then also physically, like as in like groups of families, like maybe the dad is constantly at work and doesn't get to see his kids. Now he's not considered essential. Now he has to stay home. Now the kids get to see their dad more, play with their dad more. The wife gets to see her husband more. Say you got a big family, say you got a big house, and normally a bunch of people live there. We'll say there was half of them are at work during the day, half of them are at work during the night. They can't see each other. Now they can. Now they can have dinner. They can have breakfast. They have lunch. They can be with each other.
I like that. I think that's the thing you bring up, and I like what Ricky said too. I think the virus has caused a lot of pros and cons. What Ricky mentioned was that the con was that the virus closed down a lot of things that where people, release their stress, their tension, was different. Or, for Manny, it was going to that, the finals for the race. And so it was just like, the virus caused that, and I think one of the littlest things that we kind of miss too, that people complain about right now is getting a haircut,
Yeah.
You kind of cut your own hair, Manny, you probably go to your friend.
I go there.
But like my dad and my brother-in-law, they're like, oh my God, I need to cut my hair and I need to, I can't have some, like, dude, little things that we didn't really think that would really like bring down our toilet paper, or whatever, is the.
I still think that's excessive.
Yeah, I think so too. Honestly, you shouldn't be buying toilet paper.
But no,
go ahead.
What I was gonna say is what I was talking about that, like what Manny brought up. Yeah, that makes sense about bringing families closer together and all that stuff in a physical point. Where I was trying to get at is for the fact that's the plus side of that. There is a con side to that too. Say you are that family, that group of family that used to be that, or like say it's like for me, for instance, I live by myself. My family, my mom, my dad, I live away from. Even though we still in the same city, we don't see. They're like we're living different places, and all that stuff. So with this here, it sucks more. It makes it actually sucks more because you don't get. For me, I go see them and all that stuff a lot and all that stuff, and I go to them. I don't do it a lot now because I have to be home most of the time now and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's also that point of there are most likely other people that have that same situation. I've seen like videos of like people like crying and bawling over like video call because they can't see their grandma because she is stuck in quarantine. And then what makes that even worse is for the fact of like, as you know, this virus does affect older people too, and all that stuff. And it's like I've seen that stuff. It's painful and hurts to watch and all that stuff. And that actually affects me because it's like I don't get to see my niece.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
Actually got it.
And all that stuff.
Her and her husband, they have 3 kids.
So it's like
they're locked in their room.
Yeah, it just sucks. It's like, and then it's like
somewhere else now.
And then for like, say if like someone out of the 5 of us, my family, like say if it does get us, it's like that makes it even worse of trying to actually see them even more, because like you can't go near that.
Oh yeah, exactly, and it's so sad, you know, especially hearing now, like if someone was pregnant right now and they had a baby now, I don't think not even the father could even go in and be in there. Like he would have. Yeah, well, he would have to wait until, or she would, you know, whatever, you know, I would have to wait until, like, you know, until everything's done.
Mm-hmm.
Because my cousin's son just had a baby. Well, he didn't have a baby. His wife did, but had their 3rd baby. I want to say Friday. Or Saturday. He wasn't able to be in there until after everything was done. He couldn't see the birthing, couldn't see anything. Until after the baby was actually born, cleaned, everything was done, and he had to get his temperature taken, and then he was able to go and see the baby.
Was he able to hold the baby after everything?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
So we definitely seen, you know, we're kind of coming to a little bit of a close here. So we just kind of want to. So we went through the, you know, stages of, you know, the pros and cons of the virus, the pros and cons of technology, and now we've seen how it's honestly affected, you know, and you know, we've seen how it kind of it brought families together. You know, Manny mentioned, you know, it could bring families together, but on Ricky's side of the spectrum, having to live by yourself, you know, and to, you know, only be able to have a phone call and no physical touch, you know, as much, you know, that also brings a lot of, you know, sadness and a lot of loneliness, and the factor as well is that, you know, a lot of people probably have a lot of grandparents in homes and they probably can't even see them. And so it's caused a lot of disruption and destruction, and destruction, you know, and so,
and
know, to close,
I just want to say one thing. And there's probably, whoever watches this, they're probably going to be like, well, I see my family, I see them every day. Now, I do know that the fact that there are some shelter-in-place rules that, like, say, that you can be together with no more than this amount of people. I think for us, it's 10 in where we live.
And I think
to my knowledge, it's 10 still.
If it's 10 still, I don't know for sure. But you have to be like 6 feet apart and everything like that, and everything like that.
In San Jose, you can be 10 or more, but you can't be on the streets after 5.
Yeah.
If you're like still driving, you have to be like, oh, I came from work, and you had that proof that you were coming from work.
Yeah.
You can't just be driving around.
Yeah, and then it's like, and not every state or even county within the state has the same thing, and I get that and all that stuff, and it's just, but you have to realize for the fact that once you step outside that house, there's a chance of there is a high probability whether or not it's like you're protected or not too. It's like you might catch this and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like people can, and like I said again, people are probably gonna say, "Well, I can do this. You can still do this. You can still go outside." I get that, I really do, and all that stuff. And it's like, and all that stuff. But it's like I said, like where we live in the area we live, that's probably like that right now. But there's somewhere else in another state probably and everything like that. Like that's probably not like that, and all that stuff. And probably I should be blessed for the fact that I can. But in all honesty, like I rather just stay home. And all that stuff. Yeah. I'd rather not go out, do something what I need to in order to do something. Of course, if it has to be essential at least, and all that stuff and everything like that, and all that stuff. Like honestly, like in all honesty, I'd rather just stay home and all that stuff because I don't want to bring a possible risk of something like that and everything like that. From just for all that stuff and everything like that. Like if people disagree with me on that, oh well, and all that stuff. And it's like, I mean, I'm glad for the fact that we have this, we have Zoom, we have all these video chat options to talk to people and all that stuff, and even just bet to the basic simple texting and calling and all that stuff. But like I don't want to give up the risk of, I don't want to put that risk in being close to someone, especially a friend or even a family, even my own family, for a fact of they probably might get the virus and all that stuff. And that's just on me. All that stuff.
And I understand completely what you're saying because I'm an essential worker and I'm blessed that I'm still able to work, but I do have that in back of my mind thinking like I can have it and not know it and bring it in. And so that's scary too. And what's the sad part, if anyone is watching this, you know, a lot of people are having complete anxiety, complete panic about it, and it can be very it can be very, chaotic to the mind, to your mental, to your mental. Yeah. And so I think, to, easily calm us all down is just to take precaution, eat healthy, work out at home. Don't be a sloth. I'm not saying like these are cures for the virus, but it's something that we can do is to keep taking precaution. And it's sad to say, and this is the one thing that ticked me off about Stockton. I'm talking about you. Is the fact is that I wake up at 5 a.m, right, to go to work, and there's heck of people outside still at 5 a.m, and I'm thinking to myself, all you fools need to be home. Like, why are you outside? I know all of you aren't working, like, and so that kind of pisses me off a little bit because
I went in today and I saw about 6 people that were like running, like like exercise running that we usually normally see.
Yeah.
And I saw like all 6. They're not in like together, but they're like every now and then you'll see one go by and they're like just doing their daily jogs and stuff like that. And it's like, why would you?
Yeah.
Put yourself in that kind of a risk. Like you're running, you're inhaling more, you're breathing more oxygen.
Exactly, and I feel like
way higher.
I feel like for me is like the reason why China is doing so good now is because
they got on it.
It's so serious. Yeah.
They forced. No one was allowed to go outside, and I feel like Stockton kind of doesn't really like take it. I'm not saying everybody, but I feel like when you're waking up at 5, no one should be outside unless those are working.
Okay, so I really wasn't trying to putting our city in this podcast, but since you guys brought it up, I might as well say it now. This is as of 2 days ago. And everything. The number of cases of this virus in this city, 130. The city.
Oh.
130. The county itself, as of today, is 309. We literally count a third.
Yeah.
You mean over? Oh my.
These are confirmed. Yeah. Now these are confirmed cases. It gives me confirmed cases. The number of deaths in this county is 17 as of today. And all that stuff. I don't know the number of deaths in this city, all that stuff. But the fact that a third of the confirmed cases in the county is from this city alone, that says something.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Now I'm not trying to get serious about this and everything like that. But it's for like I said, I stick to what I say about me staying home. As much I would love to. I have reasons why I can't. I have there's another obligation that I have to do because I have to get out, to go out and all that stuff. But I rather just stay home
and people are like, I want to work out. There's a lot of home workouts you can do.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You can do HIIT. I've been doing HIIT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out. I've been like recently. I've been trying to figure out stuff. Like, this morning I started stretching out of the blue. I was like, okay, this is a start. This is a start.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm doing yoga after this, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay, I know we said we're gonna cut, but it's like I know you wanted to talk about the UFC. We can still keep going for
Fight Island.
We can talk about it next podcast.
So sports in general is just gonna be part of our next week's.
Yeah, exactly. We all love sports.
It's fine with me.
Yep.
It's fine.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up, and if we can give any last thoughts about anything that you may have or anything you think about this virus. One question on your last thought, I probably want to probably throw out there is that, if you can go first. Do you see this pandemic lasting more than after summer?
So, based off numbers, from what I'm seeing, because as like I said, I think as I mentioned earlier, the biggest states that have this virus is here, California and New York. I think New York has the most number of deaths, if I'm correct. Our state is starting to see decrease from what I'm hearing, and read. It's honestly tough to tell if it can pass through summer because, as I mentioned earlier, it is starting to hit the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Now, and from what I've paid attention to and who's brought it up from whatever area they're from, they do have shelters in place. Some are kind of stricter than some are strict, and everything like that. And it's tough. It's honestly tough to tell. We mentioned China is already starting to see like a lower number in confirmed cases and all that stuff, at least, and that's a good thing to know about, and all that stuff. I don't know. We haven't heard much on Italy's side because that's also one of the big countries that hit hard with the virus. All I gotta say is this, and again, people are gonna probably disagree with me or gonna say something to me. Whoever watches this, if this government doesn't get off its butt and actually act on something, it could get worse.
Okay. And you, Manny, do you feel like this virus can end in summer? What do you feel like?
I feel like it's definitely going past summer.
It's gonna pass summer?
Yeah, definitely. Unless people actually start taking this whole pandemic serious. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Well, we all come in agreement. We're coming to the end now of our podcast. For those who have listened this far in our podcast, thank you and hopefully you enjoyed it. But if there's any viewers,
not all of them will be this dark, by the way. Just let you know.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't I was like, really you got dark at a quickness towards the end of this podcast. I was like, is he gonna?
Oh no, not lighting wise. This is always gonna happen. This is just my rule.
You need light.
I'm saying, as in like,
not good.
Topic wise.
Oh yeah, topic wise, of course.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about a virus that's literally like that. As of now, our country's has the most deaths.
No, yeah. I'm not saying that though. I'm saying not all podcasts.
Oh, not all of our podcasts. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, of course not. It's just honest. Actually, this is just part one. Part two's next week because we're going to talk about our sports and then what are we doing now ourselves? What are we doing now during this stuff and stuff? So it's
for all our viewers, those who are watching, yes, Manny is right. We're gonna have many more podcasts, and it won't be this serious. Of course, we're trying to lighten the mood. But if there's anyone out there, please take precaution. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Do what you're supposed to be doing on a regular basis before the virus hit. Was take care of your hygiene, take showers.
And
I'm taking one after this.
So from all of us to you, we hope that you stay healthy. We hope that you continue to stay strong through this pandemic, and we're all gonna make it out through together. So from our unknown podcast that we don't have a name for right now, we wish you the best, and we'll see you next week.
Deuces.